Steve, let me head over to you at the big board. As we've been talking about, Republicans appear to be concerned about these special elections, particularly the one in Florida next week. What are you watching for? What do the numbers say?
Yeah, let's take a look at both of these districts. And really, it is that you've been talking about it here. Waltz's old district, the 6th. This is where more of the action is in Florida. You see where the two special elections are being held. We're talking about here sort of the area between Jacksonville, Daytona Beach on the coast, and the district now moves a bit inland as well. So the Republican candidate, Randy Fine, the Democrat, Josh Weil, a lot of money has come in nationally, a lot of grassroots money from Democrats who are very keyed in on these special elections here for Weil. And the backdrop, of course, is this is what the presidential result looked like in this district last November, Trump winning it by 30 points. Waltz, for that matter, was reelected by a similar margin last November. So you look at this number and you say, why would Republicans, be a little concerned? Is it about losing the district? That might be a stretch. There's nobody in the House. There's no Democrat in the House who has won in a district like this recently. But would they be embarrassed by a significantly smaller margin than this? That's certainly possible. They wouldn't want that. And the other thing, as you mentioned, talking about Elise Stefanik in her district, the decision for her to stay there, the margin in her district was 20 points. That's the New York district that she represents. Trump won that district by 20. So 30 is an awfully high threshold for Democrats to overcome. When you start talking about 20, it's probably still much too high in a special election for Democrats, but it's lower than this. And if this is making them sweat at all, you can imagine what they would think about turning towards New York 21. And again, the other district where there's action here, this is in the Panhandle. This is Pensacola based here. This really is one of the most Republican districts in Florida. How Republican? Trump's margin here was almost 40 points. So again, Republicans with more of a pad here. You take a look at what we've seen from the early voting. This is just the share of the ballots taken by registered Republicans, by registered Democrats in each of these districts. And you do see, look, for Democrats, that's pretty good in a district like the 1st. But again, that's still a solid Republican advantage. In the 6th, again, that's still a Republican advantage. That's good for the Democrats there, historically speaking. But again, it gets to that question of, is it going to be enough for the Democrats to actually have a chance to win it? These numbers suggest that's still very much a stretch. But again, to get that number down certainly seems possible for them. And the question will become, how much can they get that 30-point Trump margin down? And Kristen, what this really speaks to overall is, I'll just put this up on the screen quickly. We're talking about special elections. Boy, there's a lot of numbers on the screen here. But what these numbers are telling you is that in the last couple of years, in special elections for the House and in lower turnout elections, not like presidential elections where everybody votes, that's where the Democrats have had an advantage. That's where they've overperformed. They've done well. Why? Because it seems that the Democratic base for elections that do not have Donald Trump on the ballot seems more motivated than the Republican base. That was the story going right into the 24 election. It's one of the reasons Democrats had a lot of hope in last November. They thought they had this turnout motivation edge. Didn't turn out to be a thing in November, but it may still very much be a thing in special elections. That's something we could find out on Tuesday.
It'll tell us a lot about where the mood of the country is headed. Steve Kornacki, thank you so much. We really appreciate it, as always.
Thanks for watching. Stay updated about breaking news and top stories on the NBC News app or follow us on social media.